What's going on, everyone? I know you guys are used to coming on here seeing fishing related things. Today's going to be a little bit different, and I'm going to try to rotate a little bit more into doing some more hunting stuff rather than just fishing stuff too. So anyways, today we are going to be talking about what my mobile hunting setup is going to be for the 2024 to 2025 season. I've never really hunted out of mobile stuff at all ever. I lived in Ohio. Everything I hunted was private land. I had stands up. They were smaller properties, so I would have one or two stands up per piece of property, and it was just the easiest thing and best thing for me at the time. And last year I moved down to South Carolina. Everything down here is pretty much all public. You can get some private stuff, but everything here is also giant pine trees, palm trees, stuff like that, to where you can easily get a saddle and a mobile setup into the tree very easily. Don't want to deal with having to do a climbing stand because of how heavy they are. I tried it for some of the year last year and it was just way too heavy for me. I hated having to carry it in on public land. So that forced me into going towards this type of saddle setup, and I used a little bit to get used to it last year, some that my buddy had. And now I finally got all my own stuff to be able to use. So we're going to be going over that though. Later on, if you guys want, I'll go over my pack that I'm going to be packing in to go saddle hunting. Everything I keep in there, everything I keep in my actual saddle itself, and go over more stuff like that I'm actually using. If you guys want to see stuff like that, go down in the comments, let me know. I can definitely do some videos like that later on. But today we're going to be talking about just my actual saddle, the accessories I have on it, my climbing sticks, and my platform that I'm going to use. Keep in mind when going through this is my first year saddle hunting. Saddle's probably going to stay the same for a few years to come unless I severely don't like it, but as of right now it's very comfortable and I really think I'm going to like it. Sticks, definitely going to change, because what I have right now are just some donor sticks to get used to it, and I'll explain that later on. Platform, probably stay the same unless I try something else that's going to happen. So there are some things in this setup that's actually going to change in the next year to two, so just keep that in mind when going through. But this is going to be my first year saddle hunting and my first year stuff to get started. So starting off, I think we should talk about the most important part of saddle hunting itself, and that piece is the actual saddle. So for me, I chose to go with the Latitude Method 2 saddle. Actually, after I bought this, I bought it about a week or two ago, and right after I bought it, Latitude announced they were dropping their new saddle after they partnered with TX5 to come out with some other stuff. So a little disappointed in that, but I'm going to give it a few years to kind of get that tested, everything figured out with that, and to get into this and make sure I like everything with it before I try something else. So yeah, this saddle, like I said, it's probably going to be something that I'm going to hunt with for a few years. I don't think I'm going to want to change from this. If I do, I'll find out this year a little bit after getting out some hunts, but so far with testing it, I really enjoy the saddle. It's really comfortable for me. For me, the biggest thing was going with a two-piece saddle. I had a two-panel saddle that my buddy had, and I really liked it. I tried some single panels, didn't like it. I liked having that two-piece, that way I could go down, put one adjusted a little bit down near my legs, put one that's up on my back a little bit, or like the upper part of my butt, and just really being versatile and being able to adjust it. So that was the biggest thing with going with the two-piece compared to a single piece. The other thing I got for these is I did get the actual two-panel straps that can go on here. That way I can adjust the height, don't have to think about it when I get up in the tree. Since these have a magnet, I can just pop it down and it's right at the right section where I want it to go. So that was really convenient too, and one of the things that really made this saddle stand out to me. I got the Method pouches on the side, prefer the bigger ones, that way I can put my gear strap and my ropes in each one. So like here's my actual my lineman rope, I can just stuff it into the actual pouch when I'm not using it. The other side, I've got my actual tether rope right in there, so everything can just sit in there. Right now that's about all I have. My gear strap, my bow hook in the gear strap, and then my ropes on it. Don't have anything else in it right now, but as I get into the season, kind of get things figured out and tinker with it, I'm sure I will probably get some stuff put in here. So this is the saddle I'm going to run. Now let's move on to the platform. So with the platform, I was looking at several platforms, and really I went back to one that my buddy Carl down here he introduced me to last year, and I used it when I was testing out some saddles. And so far I've really liked it. I've only used it a few times testing stuff out. I've got no complaints with it. Didn't want something too small because I've got a size 13 foot. So I didn't want something that my feet were gonna feel really crammed on, but I didn't want something big and bulky. Right now it's not light, but it's not heavy by any means. And this platform that I am talking about is the Cruiser Seeker platform. I talked to Carl, he had an extra one, and I actually traded something that you guys will see here in a minute. I'm trading it for him, to him for it. But the Cruiser Seeker, to me, it holds onto the tree really good. It grips onto it. The platform's big enough that my feet fit on it really, really comfortably. And I really like how it has the angled front to it. That way when you're really leaning back in the saddle, your feet can sit on there and you don't feel like you're jabbing something sharp like the edge of a platform into your foot. So it kind of fits a little bit better, it feels a little bit better, and so far I've just really liked this platform. Later on I may look something towards a carbon platform to cut a little bit of weight depending on what I feel with this, but for now, getting started, this platform is really good. Only thing I can see myself doing with this is adding some stealth strip to it, as this is kind of falling off. That way, it's not quite as noisy, because that's one complaint that I have with it so far, is it is just noisy getting up in the tree. If I add some stealth strip down here where that actual bolt hits, that'll help a lot with that. So this is the platform I'm using. Now let's move on to worst part of my setup right now, which is the sticks. Before getting into the sticks, I just want to say sorry if I start to look a little bit sweaty. It is hot down here right now. It's a high 90s, really humid, and I'm in my garage, so of course it's a little bit hotter in here. But going into the sticks, like I said, is the worst part of my setup right now, and that's because of two things. One, I haven't dropped the money on the actual sticks I want because they are very expensive. Two, I wanted to make sure I liked the sticks for a climbing option before I went into them. So my buddy Chad had a set of extra sticks, and he was like, hey, here, use these. They've been sitting in my truck bed, haven't been using them. Get used to them, make sure you like them before you go buy something for yourself. So I'm gonna be using that for a little bit, trying to get used to it. But first, like I mentioned with the platform, my buddy Carl that let me try all of his hunting saddle stuff, he tried getting me into these, which this climbing aid is the Wild Edge steps. If you are not familiar with these, you use nader swaders, and you actually have these little steps that you pull onto the tree, and they aren't bad. They're really quick to put up. They're really weird to get used to, and for somebody with a big foot and not liking heights that much, for me, they just were very uncomfortable to try to go up a tree in. So that's my biggest complaint with it, is big feet and not liking the actual height up there. For me, it just got sketchy, because if you didn't have your foot planted directly in the tree with the nader swaders, it slipped off and ran into issues. But these things did secure very, very, very tightly onto the tree. So I will have to give them that. If you want something with minimal weight, because this bag's like 4 pounds, it's pretty light, and this got 5 steps, you can get up 25 foot probably with these with a nader swader. But with something like that, if you're into something that's very light and quick to get up a tree, definitely check out the nader swaders. But for me, I don't like heights. I've got a bigger foot, so it didn't work for me. I went back to sticks, and this year the sticks I'm going to be using are just these basic muddy sticks. For now, I'm just using one aider on it, and that aider that I'm using, I believe it was 8 Canyon. I ordered off Amazon. My biggest thing is with just 4 sticks, I'm able to get about 15 foot up in the tree, because being taller, having long legs, it works out. So I got one aider to put on the bottom step. That way I can put it up and I can boost myself up, get a little bit higher. I'm gonna be able to get about 18 or so foot with these actual aiders on it. But these sticks, they're nice. I actually very much like them. I much prefer sticks over the Wild Edge steps. My biggest thing is they are heavy. I think these sticks are like 10 to 12 pounds. So they're very heavy for climbing sticks. The sticks I am really wanting to get into though is the tethered 1 sticks or the Latitude carbon sticks. That way I can stick under a pound a stick, and I'm gonna be cutting my weight for my actual sticks themselves in half going to that, if not more than half. So I'm gonna be saving a bunch of weight. It's gonna be much lighter in my actual pack to carry in, and I think I'm gonna enjoy it more. But I'm still looking at options for sticks, but for now this year, I'm just gonna be using these muddy sticks just because I got them given to me to use for a little bit and test out and really figure out what I want before I actually get my own. So that wraps it up, everyone. That is my setup I'm gonna be using for this year between my sticks, my platform, and my actual saddle. Hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing this video. Maybe if you're a first-time mobile hunter, that it kind of gave you some ideas on where to start and what to do with actually picking out your stuff, since I threw a few things here or there on why I chose each thing. If you guys would like to see a video comparing I think it's 5 saddles I have here right now, which is my Latitude, my buddy's Cruiser saddle, I've got a tethered Predator saddle, a TX5, an H2, and I'll have to see if I have any others, but I think I've got 5 saddles right here. If you guys would like to see a comparison on my thoughts on those and why I did or didn't like about each thing on those saddles, let me know. I can definitely do a video on that before I give them back to my buddies. That way it gives people a bigger, better perspective to look at when actually choosing a saddle. So anyways, thank you guys for watching this far. If you'd like to see more hunting videos and a hunting type of content, let me know down in the comments. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you aren't already, and we will see you in the next one.